Welcome back to another episode of Cable Chatter. Today I am joined by Darby Livingston, co-owner and co-founder of Roots by Trio Farms and Roots Deli. Before we get started, here are some community announcements. On Wednesday, November 9th, and every Wednesday, Town Square Cinema will be having $1 Movie Wednesdays at Winchester Movie Theater at 6 p.m. On Saturday, November 12th, Phi Delta Kappa Beta Eta breakfast will take place from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Phi Delta Kappa 825 North Residence Street, Winchester, Indiana. On Saturday, November 12th, Coats for Kids will be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Ohio Valley Gas, located at 215 West Franklin Street in Winchester, Indiana. Saturday, November 12th, there will be Bluegrass Concert and Chili Supper from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Huntsville Community Center, located at 6466 South County Road, 500 West, Huntsville, Indiana. Saturday, November 9th, the Journey Home Rummage Sale will take place from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 325 South Oak Street, Suite 101 in Winchester, Indiana. On Friday, November 25th, Community Christmas Lighted Parade will start at 5:30 p.m. Parade will start uptown and end out at the park. The Community Christmas Light Display will start November 26th and run through December 31st at the Union City Harder Park. Welcome back. With me, I have Darby Livingston from Roots by Trio Farms. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And the first question I have for you today is, what is Roots by Trio Farms and Roots Deli?
Well, Roots by Trio Farms is an idea. It's a brand. It's really a culture that my brother Cleo and my mom Nancy and myself sat down together and decided what our priorities would be in business. And so Roots by Trio Farms there's really nothing tangible about it. It's more just the collective idea of how we want to do business and the priorities that we have in whatever business we do. And we decided to codify that in a brand. And so, the Trio Farms was the beginning of it. And, we were grain farmers and industrial hog farmers, and with the largest meat producer in the world, and just became disillusioned with that over time and just wasn't happy with that. And so we decided to, produce our own food on the farm that we could actually eat ourselves and sell to our neighbors. And so, we started with produce and livestock that was heritage breeds, older breeds, things like that. And then we decided to go from, selling those things retail to people through our online store and through our mobile markets. We decided to go from selling produce and meats and eggs and things like that retail to more of the hospitality side of it, more of the community side of it. Our customers were very loyal to us and we were very loyal to them, and it was kind of a community. And so they started to ask us, well, could you make meal kits for us? Could you make the food for us? Because we don't cook and we're busy, and we'd be happy to pay for that if you would just do it for us. And, that got us to thinking. And so from, Trio Farms, we wanted to have, what would be a communal idea behind it? What would entail, or encompass rather, the idea of food and community? And we came up with the idea of Roots.
So was it hard to transition through all of those things with the grain farming, then to Trio Farms and to Roots?
Yes.
What
absolutely.
were some of the biggest obstacles that you guys had to get through?
The biggest obstacles we had to get through was moving from very large numbers a few times a year to weekly and sometimes daily cash flow numbers. Because when you're selling, semi-loads of grain or semi-loads of hogs, those are big numbers that come in and big numbers that go out just a couple times a year. And so you're used to, budgeting your money over a long period of time, and those numbers are large. When we switch to direct to consumer and selling retail, now that's a whole different business model than just a strictly agricultural business model, because now we've gone from just producing to distribution. And when you did that, you also then took on the mantle of marketing and sales, because you're not selling to a middleman or a processor. You're selling directly to a consumer. Well, you can't sell to someone who's never heard of you, and they're not going to buy it if they don't trust you. So those transitions were very difficult over time, because you come from just being sitting in a tractor all day to advertising to your neighbors or friends of friends. Hey, have you ever tried this pork that we've produced? Hey, have you ever had a tomato this good? Those kind of things. So it was a very tricky and scary transition, because we've never done anything like that before. We just really love food. I mean, and the quality of it and the cleanness of it. And we love real food. And so we just knew we had to go from the more traditional agriculture. You can't eat soybeans and field corn. I don't really want to eat the industrial pork. And so we feel like we've produced things that are much better than that and readily edible. So, we wanted to transition to this out of, love for our neighbor, that we were happy with the things we were producing and we were able to eat ourselves, and we wanted to share that with others. And so, yeah, that transition was somewhat tough, and it's been, over the course of the last 7 years now, so that we've done this. So it's been a slow burn and a just kind of going where the market leads over the last 7 years in that transitional period. But we're almost completely transitioned now into the more hospitality based and finished product based aspect of it. So the Roots by Trio Farms, basically just an idea of any business that we do is going to have as its core real food made simple. So it doesn't matter if it's a deli or a pizza and barbecue place, or if we would open a breakfast establishment, or catering and events, or a food truck, or whatever we would choose to do. It's always going to revolve around the idea of real food made simple, and that we love our customers. We want them to have the greatest eating experience that we can provide through real food, through simple preparation methods. We're not trying to be pretentious. We're not trying to gain any Michelin stars. We just love real food and love to see the look on other people's faces when they eat it. So that's the idea behind Roots by Trio Farms. We want to celebrate the roots of food and the roots of community around food. If you think about it, most communal events happen around food, whether it be a party, whether it be holiday gatherings, even bad things like funerals and memorials. There's usually food involved. We cater a lot of those kinds of events. And so we want to get people together around real food again and see the joy that comes from that, because we're just, in our minds, so busy in our current day and age, just so disjointed with other people and with our own lives, and with these little micro categories in our lives every day, that we just want to provide a holistic celebration of food and community around food. And so that's how the deli would fit into that as well.
So we keep talking about the deli. What can people expect from the deli? Like when they go there, what can they expect to get from the deli? Well,
it's first and foremost a deli, so you'll be able to get prepared meats. So ham by the pound, or roast beef or turkey or whatever you would normally get from a traditional deli. You can come and get, sliced meats and cheeses and things like that. We'll also provide a full kitchen. So, we're going to do multiple sandwiches. So, there'll be a growing menu of different sandwiches. We've got them, a lot of them already, worked out and ready to hit the road with, but there'll be other ones coming as we develop them. Something that is dear to our hearts is the Tree Hill Farms meats. And when we started the restaurants, we are using most of our Tree Hill Farms products ourselves. Whereas we used to, you used to be able to get on treehillfarms.com and buy a pork chop, raw, and to throw on your grill. Well, we're grinding up, all of our meat for pizza sausage, or we're smoking it all in the pulled pork. So, we've had to up our production on the farm side, and we're really looking forward to getting more Tree Hill Farms raw products back in. So you'll be able to come there and get packs of raw adult burgers again. You'll be able to get red velvet pork, which is our cross between Mangalites and red wattle pigs. You'll be able to get that again. We'll have eggs and just chicken breast and chicken thighs and whole chickens and all those things as well. So those things you'll just be able to reach into a freezer and grab those out. But if you want something that's also ready to eat, we'll have clam-shelled salads and those kind of things, as well as sandwiches and wraps and paninis and all those kind of things. We will have our burgers, both our adult burgers, which is our special blend of beef and our red velvet pork. A lot of our customers know what adult burgers are. That adult burgers have been traditionally our number one top selling product. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what everybody wants. And so that's something that you'll be able to order there on a daily basis. If you want to come in and get any of the burgers that basically we feature on Thursday nights right now in Winchester, we'll have full time here, and we'll probably have some other ones as well. Really excited about the deli meat brand that we're partnering with, which is Boar's Head. That's in our minds very close in quality and in philosophy, business philosophy, as we are. So we're very happy that they have partnered with us, and they are a very meticulous company when it comes to quality and when it comes to customer experience. And their tagline is "Compromise Elsewhere," and that just fits very well with how we view food. It's what you're putting in your body. If you're going to compromise on, ditch an extra TV channel if you have to prioritize finances. Why would you compromise what you're putting in your body? I mean, why would you do that? Why would you compromise one of the greatest joys that there is, which is, this amazing thing called flavor that we get to enjoy, So I love that tagline, "Compromise Elsewhere." And a lot of our customers right now, they prioritize in order to get Roots foods. They might save up to come and once a week come to Roots or whatever. I know people that do that, and that's a very humbling and amazing thing to me that they would value it enough that they would prioritize around it. And if they're going to compromise on something, it's not going to be that. And so that fits very well with Boar's Head, with our Tree Hill Farms branding and values. And so you can expect those things there. Breakfast, you can expect our take on breakfast. Probably aren't going to come in there and get an omelet, but we will definitely, that's been one of the foundational things that we've done is sausages and bacon and, eggs and all those things. So that's been a backbone of Tree Hill Farms, and so we will carry that over as well in some form. So just basically things you'd find in a deli, things you'd find in a sandwich shop, and we'll continue to test things and see what people want and get feedback. And if somebody wants something that we don't have, we'll figure it out. And if we can offer it, we will. But we'll just kind of play it by ear. But we do have a core offering right now that we've got pretty much nailed down, and it's all those things I just said.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then do you like the location of where the deli's at? I mean, it's middle of downtown, right next to the coffee shop, right next to an ice cream shop, surrounded by everything else. Do you like that you're surrounded by everything else in the town?
That is a leading question. What you are inferring is that we should like it because of all those things you just said, and I love that.
Well, some people feel like would see that as competition.
Yeah.
That because there's a taco place right across the street.
Sure.
People
one
could
of the
see
best
that.
ones around.
Yes.
Regionally.
People
yes.
could see that as competition. We're not gonna get as much business because we're right next to them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I am thrilled to death with that location. That's one of the main things that drew us to agreeing to take on this venture was that location. It's a great building. It's right in, like you said, right in the center of town. It's right next to an alley that the city is blocked off to make outdoor, gathering space. I mean, it's very prominent in the downtown area, and to us, there's no competition. We don't compete with anyone. We do what we feel we can do well, and we don't really think about anything else. We try to keep our focus on real food made simple, celebrating the roots of food and the roots of community around food, and we don't spend a lot of time worrying about what other people are doing. We celebrate what other people are doing. I mean, I find it very humbling that we would be, across the street from, like I said, a taco place that my friends all around the region say, if you mention Union City, they say, oh man, they got that taco place downtown. That's like the most authentic. Those are the best tacos. So no, it's very humbling that we are right down there with such great businesses like them, and that that we have the opportunity to just add another layer to what citizens here and businesses here and people that are working here even temporarily, that we can offer something else and add to the great variety that we want to establish here in town. I feel like we're right where we should be. I feel like it fits who we are to be there in that location. I feel like we will do that location justice.
And then, have you heard any feedback about the creation of a deli in Union City?
I have. I have heard a lot of excitement. A lot of people are excited about the Boar's Head. That's something that you can't really get around here very many places. And that's some of the feedback we've heard is that. Some of the feedback that we've heard is in the form of a lot of questions, like what are you going to have, similar to what you're asking here, and hopefully we can kind of clear up for people or kind of entice people with it. Some of the feedback though is in the form of questions like what is it going to be, what isn't it going to be, those kind of things. And so I think that the feedback we've gotten thus far is incredibly positive and very anticipatory. People are just anticipating it and are excited about it. Our hope is that we can live up to that excitement, and also that we can help people that maybe wouldn't be our normal customers to to figure out why they would want to become our customers, because we are very specific in our business model and in our product offering and in our price point and what we appeal to on purpose. I mean, we sell the kind of food that we ourselves want to eat, and so that puts us in a certain category. And so, a lot of times the questions have to do with pricing and things like that, or what are you going to offer, in brands and things like that. And deli space is incredibly competitive. And so, for instance, if we do Boar's Head, we can't do other brands. Like, it's exclusive. Mm-hmm. And we went through a pretty meticulous interview process with them before they agreed that we would be a Boar's Head supplier. And they don't usually come to population areas of our size. Usually they stay to higher population areas, more urban areas. That's their customer base. And so we're excited that people around here have actually heard of Boar's Head and say, oh my, you can't get that anywhere around here. I'm so excited because I can just come right uptown on my golf cart and get Boar's Head meats or Boar's Head cheese or Boar's Head hot dogs, those kind of things. That's exciting. That's very positive feedback. On the negative side, just in a couple of conversations that I've had, and I think just full disclosure in the interest of being open and transparent, because that we value that. You can go to Save a Lot and you could get like Eckrich. We won't have Eckrich. You can't. And somebody was asking, will you have the smoky links and things like that? We can't. We're not allowed because of the exclusivity agreements and stuff. But you can get that around here. You can go to Walmart and get that. You can go to Save a Lot and get that. There's places you can get those things. And there's places where you can get just cheap food fast. There's places like that, and they have a place. They're valuable in our community. But what you don't always see, and I think the feedback that we've gotten that is very positive, is you're providing something that we have to drive out of town, sometimes 45 minutes or more to get, and you're bringing it right here to the downtown of Little Union City. And so that's both the positive and the negative. It's both at the same time. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That some people will love the idea. Some people aren't going to be fond of that idea because they want smoky links, but they can get smoky links, just probably not at Roots Deli.
Yes. So how do you think, or how have you been told that the city feels that you're trying to bring more people into Union City through the deli?
I don't know. I can't really speak for them. My assumption is they want to see growth in general in the city. And so I think that Roots as a concept fits that vision very well, because we are growth centered as well. We want to bring a more of a bigger vision than just a mom and pop store. Mm-hmm. That, our ideas about food and culture and community are bigger than just any one place or any one concept. And so I feel like the growth that they're trying to achieve, we fit very well with. The kinds of things that we're trying to grow in Union City, business growth and opportunity, housing, they have a whole housing development that's coming in, and those houses look very nice. And, I think that people that live in those houses deserve businesses that understand their values and want to provide for them things that they would normally have to drive to Muncie or Richmond or Troy or somewhere, within an hour away. I feel like if we can provide those kind of things right here, more and more as these bigger cities keep pushing outward, Union City eventually will be a landing spot for people that want to have, a family and in a little slower pace, maybe perhaps safer schools, maybe perhaps less crime, things like that. So just they want a more shady type or, sleepy type community, but they also don't want to give up every aspect of city life, which includes the caliber of food and service that Roots has been trying to provide and has been developing the skill to provide over the last couple years. So we are deliberately targeting the same kind of goals in growth and in prosperity that I see the city is providing. So I can't speak for them, but in my mind, it fits very well with where they are. And they've been nothing but supportive of us, so I assume that they also agree with that.
And then last question here, what lessons have you learned from creating Roots and working more into Roots?
The biggest lesson, I think, is to love people. I mean, that to me is the center of everything. That's, love your neighbor as yourself. It doesn't matter if it's in a business or in church. It doesn't matter. It's the same concept. You love your neighbor, and everybody eats. Everybody likes good food. Everybody wants community. Everybody wants to belong. And I love it that we are on a daily basis learning how to better provide atmospheres where that can happen. I mean, I love it when, customers of ours that maybe don't agree with each other on very much, both agree that an ultimate Italian sub at Roots Pizza and Barbecue is like the best sandwich in the world. I mean, I know people that are on opposite ends of almost every spectrum that they can agree on that. And that's really cool, because that is the roots of community around food. Like, it just shows we're all people. We're all in the same boat, basically, And so to me, the biggest lesson I've learned is to be humble around people, because those people are your customers. And, whenever we have people that are what some would consider difficult, at a meal or something, if a server has an issue with a table or something and is like, I really don't think I don't think they like me. I think that they're not happy with me. I think that, they're being grouchy or whatever. I always tell them, these guys have chosen to eat at Roots tonight. They could have eaten anywhere else in the world. They brought their dining room table to Roots. And so, yeah, they're coming home from work. They're coming home from school. They've chosen to gather around our table. And so if you're expecting anything other than actual, honest, real people eating real dinner around what they have determined that night is going to be their real dinner table, then we're in the wrong business. Like, that's exactly what we're wanting, is people with all of their messiness and all of the trials and struggles that they had during the day, and they come and sit down at Roots and they take a bite of a salad or a barbecue sandwich or a pizza, or they come to the deli eventually and they bite into a cheesesteak or a burger or, potato salad or whatever. And for just a split second, their struggles for the day start to go down a little. And they can start to understand, life is good. But this is a really good sandwich. When you're stopping in the middle of complaining and you can't help but just stop and say, this is a really good barbecue sauce on here. What is that sauce? I got to have more of that. That's really cool. We want to be the place that is like grandma's house. Well, grandma's house, kids are going to fight with each other. Well, I can't expect it's not going to happen at Roots. Probably will. If we're doing our job right, it will, because one of the lessons we've learned is to love your neighbor and love your customers, and then they will love you back. And if you're loyal to them, they'll be loyal to you. And so the biggest thing that we've tried to grow and learn to to execute well is the consistency of, we love our customers. We want them to be happy. If they come to us and ask us for something, they know that we're not going to blow them off. They know that we're going to give them every attention that we possibly can to give them what they want. And so that's the lessons we've had to learn. That's a lot different from sitting on a tractor all day. When you have to look your customers in the eye and tell them, you'd much rather tell them yes than no about something, and then figure out how to make it happen. Those are lessons we're still learning, but it's exciting to keep going there. And you asked me before we sat down, about the excitement in the community. Why do you think people are excited about a deli coming? And I think that people are excited about the deli coming because they're excited about their community. They're excited about everything that's taking place in Union City right now. And so we're excited that we get to be a part of that as well, that we get to join in that excitement and maybe even elevate it a little, maybe channel it a little, and hopefully draw people from outside of Union City to this location, and they can see what else is happening in Union City because they come for what we hope will be the best smoked meatloaf and potato pancake sandwich that you will ever imagine. I don't know if anybody makes those besides us, but it'll be a good one, So, if we can draw people in to Union City like we've drawn people into Winchester for the pizza and barbecue, then I feel like that's going to be very good for people to see Union City is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise kids. It's a great place to be. It's moving ahead, and we want to just be right alongside of it as a business and as a family and as a brand. And so we're excited that we get to be a part of this.
Okay, well, thank you for coming, Darby, and thank you for watching Cable Chatter.